Hey everyone, how are you doing? So I have some information material here about another Austrian city, namely Linz. It is a city by the Danube and the third largest city in Austria. So if you count the urban area around it, it's actually the second largest area. So quite a lot of people living there. Let's see what we got. We have a little card. Feels really funny, it's a bit plasticky. And it says Linzer Torte. So that's a famous dessert. Let's start with the important part, right? With the sweets. So we have the O. You can see the typical crisscross pattern on it. And I'm guessing that's their logo now, which I very much approve of. And here in the back you get the recipe for it. It's a cake that's been known since 1653. There's a document that talks about Linzer Torte, but it's not clear who invented it. But it's obviously been quite popular. Then we get a little Polaroid. Again with the name of the city in light. So this was taken, I guess there's a Danube somewhere down here with the bridge across it. It's a cute idea. Okay, let's start with a small one. We have a city map. So we also have the name of the region, which is Österreich. It's a region that borders on Germany and the Czech Republic. Okay, let's see. We have a map with the transportation lines. There are some drums. 1, 2, 3, 4, plus a drum line with the number 50, which goes to Pöstlingberg up here. And then we have a couple of bus lines. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 bus lines. And here we can see this is the center. We have the Danube coming in from the west and then taking turn towards the south if I continue southeast towards Vienna. And we have another river coming in from the south, the Traun. Okay, let's see what we can visit. We have the top 10. The Hauptplatz, so the main square. We have Kulturquartier, Mariendom, which is the cathedral. We have another museum, Musiktheater, so that's a concert hall. The Lentos Art Museum, the Ars Electronica Center, Pöstlingberg, the Föstalpine Stahlwelt, and the Mural Harbor. Okay, let's find these. So, the main squares here, next to the Nibelungenbrücke across the Danube. Kulturquartier, right here. Mariendom, which is the new cathedral. And the old cathedral would be here, also called Jesuitenkirche. So you can tell that this is the historical center. Number 4, again here it says Altstadt, meaning the historical city center. Right here. Musiktheater am Volksgarten. Be a little further south, next to the main train station. Or if you're coming in by bus, there's also a stop here or over here, next to the Knowledge Tower. And this one is the Power Tower. We have Lentos right here along the Danube. And the Ars Electronica Center on the other side. It's basically right across. Pöstlingberg's a little further out. I don't know if you can see it. You have this cute little logo with a dragon for the Grottenbahn. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. Then Föstalpine Stahlwelt, a little further out. So Linz has a history of being a very industrial city. So here you would have quite a lot of these factories. And the Mural Harbor would be a little further up right here. So the Stahlwelt, the steel world, is as the unique world of discovery at the Stahlwelt revolves around steel. The multimedia and interactive exhibition gives visitors an insight into the production process all the way through to the finished product. Guided tours of the factory sites are also fascinating. I've never been, but I'm really interested in that, which is probably why I just picked it out. Basically, what I remember most from Linz is the Pöstlingberg. I got to go there when I was a kid. It says at 539 meters high, the Pöstlingberg hill with its pilgrimage basilica towers over the city. This local mountain is climbed in 20 minutes by the Pöstlingbergbahn, one of the steepest railways in the world. The panoramic terrace, the zoo, and the Grottenbahn fantasy ride through the kingdom of the dwarfs are all worth a visit. So that's why there's this little logo of a dragon, because the dragon is this fantasy ride. It's a little train that you can take through the mountain and you visit the kingdom of the dwarfs. I loved that as a kid, you can imagine. But today you also have really interesting museums that you can visit, like the Lentos. The modern edifice of the Lentos Art Museum sits on the bank of the river Danube like a supersized picture frame. The museum houses one of the most important collections of modern and contemporary art, with works by Klimt, Kokoschka and Schiele. At night its illuminated facade makes quite an impression. And the Ars Electronica Center. So if the Lentos is a museum for contemporary art, the Ars Electronica Center is the museum of the future, dedicated to the world of tomorrow. Interactive exhibits artistically highlight the impact of technology in our daily lives. The multimedia presentations, including 3D animations in deep space 8K, also offer a unique experience. So, that sounds quite interesting. And that's quite neat to get a tiny little city map like that. Let's see what else we have here. It's another map. Let's put this aside for now and go through the other papers. Here's another one. So we have different hotels. We have different hotels and accommodations. And on the back side we have another map of the city. There's some more information on the different museums that you can visit. It says here, Eintritt frei, so free entry with this card, I guess. It's the Linz Kultur card. Linz Kultur card. $365. For the Ars Electronica Center, the Lentos Kunstmuseum, Oberösterreichisches Kulturquartier, Nordico Stadtmuseum, Francisco Carolinum, Schlossmuseum Linz and Föstalpiner Stahlwelt. We have some hiking trips. Let's have a look at that in a minute. We have Höhenrausch. So this I think is a special art installation where you can visit the roofs and attics of some parts of the city. It runs from the 6th of May until the 17th of October this year. And it's called Like in Paradise. Cute color scheme. I like it. Alright, so here we have the information on the Linz card. And it says here, it's a little sticker they put on there. I've been left over from 2020, but I'm too good to throw away. All the current advantages from 2021 are online. So I'm guessing probably not too much changed. Maybe some of the opening hours. It's possible that the prices aren't quite correct anymore. Let's see what you get. So you can buy the Linz card for 1 day, for 2 days, or for 3 days. For 1 day it costs 16 euros. You get free entry to 7 museums in Linz, so these are the ones we just looked at on the other map. You can use the public transportation apart from the Pöstlingbergbahn. You get a Donaukulturbonus, so at 10 euros. For kids it would be 5 euros. And some reduced prices in different parts. For 2 days it's 27. And you can also use the Pöstlingbergbahn. For 3 days it's 35 euros. And you can also use the Pöstlingbergbahn and you get a voucher for a restaurant over 5 euros. Or for kids over 2.50. So I think for 7 museums that's pretty good. Over 3 days, 35 euros. But of course, I'm used to the prices in Vienna. It's a bit expensive here, I think. Especially, of course, if you compare it to, say, London, where museums are free. Unfortunately, we don't have that here. So the most expensive one would be the Oberösterreich Kulturquartier with the Höhenrausch for 12 euros. Ars Electronica would be 11.50 and the First Alpine would be 10 euros. Lintos is 8 euros and the other 3 Nordico, Landesgalerie and Schlossmuseum are 6.50 each. Okay, and this is a list of the different restaurants and cafes where you can use the 5 euro voucher. I think that sounds pretty good. Okay, then here we also got a magazine, very urban. Let's just quickly look through it. I do like this kind of thin paper. This is the Höhenrausch, or part of it. You can probably climb all the way up there. There's an app that you can use. And here are some sons and daughters of the city that left for a while or forever, and I do miss it. So here's some information on opening hours and current exhibitions. Some of these are already over, like Transformation und Wiederkehr was until 6th of June. Same as this one, Anna Heindl, Long-Term Love Affairs. You can still visit Heaven Can Wait. The Mysterious World is still open. Okay, and I think these are permanent exhibitions. And you can also take some guided tours in the evenings on specific topics such as architecture, famous people, food, my favorite topic, City Express Rundfahrten, Segway tour. Can take a tour through the cathedral, and Nachtwächter zu Linzer. So this is probably a little medieval. Linzer is one of the earlier recorded versions of the name Linz. And the name actually goes back to a Roman settlement. The place was called Lentus. And it might actually have been a Celtic name. So the settlement's been here for, more than 2,000 years. So it's quite an old city. I do like that color scheme, I have to say. Very bright. Okay. Let's look at the city map. So I think we already know some of the top 10 Sehenswürdigkeiten. Okay, there's more museums, exhibitions, concert halls and theaters, nature guided tours, service, alright, and here's the city. So you can see We have the train station right here. With some train lines going off here to the side. So the entire train station is quite a large area. We can see that it goes around here, past the cemetery, which you can actually see from the train if you're coming in from the direction of Vienna. We see here it says first. And again, you have multiple parts to the train lines. So I think only part of it is for people being on the trains, and large parts are Frachtenwaggons. So they come off here towards the factories, towards the harbour by the Danube. We have the Tankhafen here. This part doesn't have its own name. It says Frankviertel, Hafenviertel, so that's the entire area. So all the way out here with these train lines, and then going back around. From the south we have the Traun coming up north, and here we have the Werkskanal. We have a large green space right here with the Wasserwald and Kinderbad Pestalozzi-Straße, as well as Urnenheim, Kleinmünchen. This part here is Bindermichel and Spallerhof. So these are areas, basically residential areas that were built in the 40s. They have a name I'm not going to repeat here, but yeah, they're from a specific time, and they're kind of known for that. But of course you have plenty of areas like that across both Austria and Germany, I guess. But the name Bindermichel and also Spallerhof actually comes from farms that were located in this area, and they were so-called Vierkanthöfe, which is really typical for the area. Vierkanthof just means it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So a large farm with 4 walls on each side and a big yard in the center. They can be really impressive buildings, really big. And like I said, they're typical for the region, and I really like them. But of course today they're kind of hard to maintain. So Bindermichel and Spallerhof, I think, were 2 of these Vierkanthöfe. They don't exist anymore. Here you have Am Bindermichel. All of these small streets. Muldenstraße, Wankemüllerstraße, Wiener Straße, going all the way up to the train station. And then from the train station, if you wanted to walk through the center, you would probably walk along here. Landstraße. All the way up here, you would have Graben, Promenade. This part here is the Central Square, Alter Markt, Hauptplatz. This is Hofgasse. And then here you would get to the Obere Donauländer. which is where you would find the Linters, next to the Bruckner House, another concert hall, it's quite famous. You can cross the Nibelungenbrücke towards the new town hall and the Ars Electronica Center. And if you visit Linz in summer, in July, then all the way along here and off into the small streets on the sides, you might come across street artists when there's a big street art festival. These so-called Pflasterspektakel. I think that's been going on for a really long time. Then here is the Schlossmuseum, and it says Schlossberg. So it's a little mountain. You can go up there, and there's a cafe. You can have some tea or coffee, some cake, and then look out across the Danube and towards the Pöstlingberg. So this part here in the north, across the Danube, is also still part of Linz, but you can see that there's quite a lot of green areas here. And then here I think this would be the, it says here Pöstlingbergbahn. All the way up. Until you get to the rose garden. That's cute. And the cotton pan for a little adventure underground. I hope that you're very sleepy already, but in case you're not, let's have a quick look here at the hiking tours around Linz. So we get this nice map that includes the surroundings a little more. We see again here we have the Tankhafen, Handelshafen and Winterhafen, the winter harbor. But we also have a little lake, Pleschinger See. It says here Freizeitanlage, Pleschinger See, so you can go there in summer and swim. We have the Badesee Steyrek, Kleiner Weikalsee and Großer Weikalsee, with one of the tours leading along the River Traun all the way up to where it runs into the Danube. Take a trip around the little lake and go back. Here in the south we have Solar City, which is an urban development area. I don't know if they're already finished building the all of the buildings. I think they are. But that too is an interesting project. We have an Europaschutzgebiet Traun-Donauauen, so a protected area. I think it would be pretty nice to live here. You're close to a city, but you have all of these protected areas around it, plus all of these lakes, Danubentraum. We have here Oberbergen, Sachsenhofer Hügel, a simple Kugel, Pfennigberg. Let's see what else we have. There is Dornach, Biesenfeld, Steg, Hochfeld, Obersteg, Habach, Bachelberg and Wachel, Vey, Westlingberg, Urfer, Auberghagen, Urfer Wend, Windflach. There's Gartenstadt 1 and 2 with a castle, Schloss Buchenau. Buchenau, Oberbuchenau and Großamberg. Buchenau, Hoher Dürnberg and Dürnberg up there. Ottensheim, Wildering, Mühlbach, Gatzing, Dörnbach, Bergham, Eichberg and Frieseneck. Here we have very cute the Zaubertal, a magic valley. And in between we have the Kühnberger Wald. Hier hat wir Leonding, Buchberg, Fuschberg, Kaumberg, Imberg and Haag, Hart, St. Isidor, Doppel, Felling, Staudach, Hitzing, Pasching, Turnharting, Hitzing, Attersberg, Lohnharting. And here in the area around Bindermichel we would have Gaumberg, Landwied, Käferfeld, Niedernhart, Scharlitz, Kleinmünchen, Schörgenhof, Auwiesen, Traunau, St. Peter with the Wüstalpine, Neue Heimat, Wegscheid, and back to St. Isidor. Once you are done exploring the area, you can go back on the train here and either continue in this direction towards Salzburg. So I guess it's the southern part, right? ÖBB Westbahn. Down here. Or you take this little corner and continue towards Vienna. Let's fold this back up. So that Linz Tourismus. that's it for today. I hope it was relaxing to you. And I'll see you again next week.